السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. So we'll carry on inshallah ta'ala with our lessons pertaining the preparation of for Ramadan, and we stopped last time at المبحث الحادي عشر, the 11th chapter, regarding who is excused from fasting in Ramadan. Who are the people who are excused and it's permissible for them to break the fast in the month of Ramadan? Before starting this chapter, the Muallif rahimahullah hafidhahullah ta'ala, the author, he mentioned something very, very important, and that is that what we're about to take now, inshallah ta'ala, about the people who is permissible for them to break the fast, is a sign of the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla upon this ummah, and the ease that Allah Azza wa Jalla has made this deen for us as a mercy for us. If Allah Azza wa Jalla wanted, He could have made this very difficult upon us and not given many people excuses. However, it's from the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla that He is not made in the deen min haraj. There is no difficulty in the deen. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, fear Allah Azza wa Jalla mastata'tum, to your capability. So this, as we're reading this, I want everyone, inshallah ta'ala, to ponder upon the rahmah, the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla upon His creation and upon this ummah specifically. طيب. So the Muallif hafidhahullah ta'ala, he said that the people who is permissible for them to not fast in the month of Ramadan is the following. The first is al-marid. The marid is the one who is sick. The person who is sick, who is ill, and it is difficult for him, and there is a harm upon him to fast if he was in a state of illness. For this person, it is permissible for him to break the fast and to fast another day after Ramadan. طيب. So the first we said is the one who is ill, and upon the one who is ill is to have patience, and Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward this person immensely. For his patience. طيب. So marad, illness, is of two types. The first is the type that his recovery is expected. He's expected to recover from this illness. So, for example, someone has a fever. This illness is an illness that its cure is expected after a few days. Inshallah ta'ala, this person is expected for him to be fit and healthy, inshallah. So this person is permissible for him to not fast if it is difficult for him to fast whilst he is in his illness. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But it is for this person, it is upon him to fast another day to make up for that fast after Ramadan. As for the one who is ill in the month of Ramadan, then this is of three types, three different situations. One, ألا يشق عليه الصوم ولا يضر. The first person, it is not difficult for him. So it's a very minor illness that if he was to fast, it would not be a burden on him, it wouldn't be difficult on him, and it wouldn't harm him. So this person, he still has to fast. He still has to fast because his illness is not enough for him for it to be permissible for him to not fast, as it's not difficult upon him to fast. But the second situation is the one who it wouldn't harm him. For example, someone who has diabetes, if they were to fast, it would harm them. Let's say someone has an illness that wouldn't harm them if they were to fast. However, it would be very difficult for them to carry on their fast. Very difficult upon them. This person, this illness is enough. It gives that person the permissibility to break the fast and to make up for that fast on another day after Ramadan. طيب. The third situation, أن يضره الصوم. So the second situation, if he wants, he can break his fast. If he wants, if he thinks that he can have patience, and even though he's ill, it's going to be a bit difficult, but he'll have patience and he's hoping in the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can fast as well. However, the third situation is a person who, if he was to fast, then fasting would harm him. Fasting would harm him. This person, it's an obligation for him to break his fast. He has to break his fast because Allah Azza wa Jalla commanded us to not throw ourselves to a tahluka, to not destroy ourselves. And this person is destroying his health because he's fasting, and fasting is a harm on him. So this person is obligatory upon him to break his fast. طيب. The second type of the one who is ill is المريض العاجز عن الصيام عجزا مستمرا. The one who is عاجز عن الصيام, he cannot fast, and his illness is a definite illness. Indefinite, يعني his illness is not expected to go. For example, someone afflicted with diabetes. Someone afflicted with diabetes is generally, it's an illness that you don't expect the illness to go away. It's just something constant. So someone afflicted with the illness that likes that his health is not expected, then the situation is different because this person doesn't fast. However, he can't make up for that fast. So what he does is he feeds every day a miskin. Every day that he doesn't fast, that he breaks his fast, he feeds a poor person. طيب. As for the third type of the person who is, it's permissible for him to break his fast in Ramadan, then that is the traveler. Al-musafiru masafata qasr as-salah. The one who is traveling, not any travel, the travel that is permissible for him to now shorten the prayer. So depending on which opinion the person follows about shortening the prayer, when do you shorten your prayer? And Ibn Taymiyyah's opinion, if someone doesn't know the details, Ibn Taymiyyah's opinion is very simple. If you are considered a traveler in the urf, in the custom, so if wherever you're going is considered a travel, then you are a traveler and you could break your fast in Ramadan and you could also shorten the prayer. So if let's say you go from Leicester to another city, if the people would consider you a traveler, that you've traveled from Leicester, then it is permissible for you to break your fast and to shorten your prayer. The different types of travel. There is safarun haram, a haram, travel that is haram in itself. And that is a travel, the intent of this travel is to do something that that is a disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jalla and to His Messenger. For example, someone who travels in order to trade alcohol, billah, and things that are haram, or to steal, or to do something haram with a certain woman. طيب. So this is the first type. The first type that is haram. The second type is safarun wajib. This is a travel that is obligatory. It means its objective is obligatory. For example, someone who travels in order to fulfill al-hajj, or to fulfill a umrah that is wajib, or a jihad that is wajib. The third is a safar, a travel which is for a mustahab cause. So, for example, someone going to do hajj, to do umrah, that is not obligatory, or jihad that is not obligatory. The fourth is safar mubah. It's a travel which is mubah, which is permissible, like just general traveling for amusement or traveling for trade. The fifth is safarun makruh, is a travel that is makruh, disliked. For example, someone just traveling without anyone else, right, by himself. The Prophet ﷺ, he forbade for the man to travel alone. If he can, he should travel with someone else. طيب. So as for these different types, the type that the person can make qasr and could break his fast is all of them except for the first one. The one who travels in order to disobey Allah Azza wa Jalla, then there is a difference of opinion whether this person could even use that rukhsa and shorten his prayer, etc. etc. السفر الذي يبيح الفطر في رمضان. What is the travel that you can break your fast in Ramadan? طيب, this fast is this travel is تفضل أستاذ. This travel is, as Allah in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخْرى. This is the proof that the one who is traveling for cause that's not haram, for them to break the fast. Allah Azza wa Jalla, whoever is ill or upon a journey, then he could fast from another day. طيب. As for the sunnah, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَضَعَ عَنِ الْمُسَافِرِ الصَّوْمَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla has taken the burden of, Allah Azza wa Jalla has uplifted the obligation of fasting on the traveler. So this is with regards to fasting. It is when traveling, it is permissible for the traveler to break his fast if he has met the conditions of shortening the prayer. طيب. As for the fourth, رابعا يفطر المسافر إذا فارق عامر بيوت قريته أو مدينته. When do you break your fast? So let's say I'm intending to travel today. It's Ramadan. I've woken up in the morning. I'm fasting. However, I've intended to travel. So when is it permissible for me to break my fast? The Sheikh is saying the Sheikh is saying that يفطر المسافر إذا فارق عامر بيوت قريته. When the person has left the general residential area of his city, so where there is buyut, where there is houses, or his Medina. So when he has left his city So it's considered now you've left Leicester. Once you've left the city, now you can break your fast and you could shorten your prayer. خامسا إقامة المسافر التي يفطر فيها ويقصر فيها الصلاة. إقامة المسافر التي يفطر فيها ويقصر فيها الصلاة. إذا نوى المسافر الإقامة أثناء سفره في بلد أكثر من 4 أيام فإنه يتم الصلاة. So this is based on a certain opinion. The Sheikh is saying if the traveler has intended to be resident during his travel in a certain place for more than 4 days, then he has to carry on praying full. He doesn't shorten his prayer anymore, and he has to fast if it is in Ramadan. So after the third day, أكثر من 4 أيام. After the 4 days, he now is في حكم المقيم. It's as if he is a resident. It's as if he is a resident. سادسا إذا سافر سفرا شبه دائم في العام. طيب, what's the ruling on someone who is travel that is constant in the year, like the one who is a lorry driver? He's always on the move, always traveling. So فإن لهم الإفطار. For them, they are still permissible for them to break their fast, because obviously if the conditions are met, like we said, because it's still considered travel for them. It's still considered travel, and there's nothing to take out the ruling of traveling for them. They are still considered travelers. سابعا إذا صام أياما من رمضان ثم سافر أو نوى صيام يوم ثم سافر في أثنائه فله الفطر على الصحيح. So if somebody fasts days of Ramadan and then he travels, or he intends to fast and then he travels, then it is permissible for this person to break his fast according to the most correct opinion. طيب, ثامنا أنواع الصيام في السفر 3. The types of fasting whilst traveling is 3 types. The first, إباحة الإفطار مطلقا في السفر. The permissibility of al-iftar, breaking your fast, في السفر مطلقا. The permissibility to break your fast in the safar once you're fasting مطلقا, and indefinitely. The second is التخيير بين الإفطار والصوم في السفر. The second type is to choose between, having the choice between fasting and not fasting. And the third is to break your fast الآمر بالإفطار والترغيب في الفطر والترهيب من الصيام في السفر. The third type is the one who it is an obligation for him, it is commanded for him to break his fast, and والترغيب في الفطر, and it is recommended he's recommended to break his fast, and he's warned from fasting once he's traveling. This depends on the situation of the person. If the person, his fast will harm him because he's traveling, it will harm him and he might destroy himself, he might faint, etc., then he is commanded to break his fast. He's commanded to break his fast. If someone, it's the same for him to break his fast or not break his fast, then this person is mukhayyar. He could either fast or he can not fast, especially with these days with airplanes and cars, etc. Some people might not find it difficult at all to fast. So for this person, he has the choice to break his fast or not. تاسعا حكم الصوم, and it depends if depending on his capabilities. Now, depending on his capabilities, it is either recommended for him or not recommended for him. It is either better for him or not better for him. طيب. تاسعا حكم صوم المسافر على 3 حالات. The ruling of the صوم of the musafir on these 3 different حالات, on these 3 different situations. The first situation, أن يشق الصيام عليه مشقة شديدة. That siyam, fasting, is very difficult upon this person. He can't bear it. So what's the ruling for this person? So the ruling for this person is that ولا يستطيع أو يضره الصيام, or fasting will harm him. It is obligatory upon this person to break his fast. This person has to be, because the fasting will harm him, because he's a traveler, and it is haram upon him to fast. طيب. The second situation is that fasting is difficult upon him, but a difficulty that is yasira. It is very light. محتمي, he could bear it. He could bear the fasting. It's a bit difficult, but he could bear it. ولكن الفطر أرفق به. But breaking his fast is easier for him. It's easier for him. So this person is recommended for him to break his fast. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla, He wants ease for His creations. He wants ease for the Muslimin, for the Ummah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah wants ease for them. And He makes these things, He legislated these rukhasat, He's uplifted many things as ease for us because He wants ease. So if it is easier for him to not fast, then this person should take that ease. Should take the ease and this gift that Allah Azza wa Jalla has bestowed upon him and not fast. However, it is still permissible for him to fast. And it is also permissible for him to break his fast. وقد تساوى الأمران والفطر طيب سهل يسير عليه والفطر سهل يسير عليه. طيب, the third situation, ألا يشق عليه الصوم مطلقا. That fasting is not difficult upon him at all. Nothing. Actually, it's the same for him, whether he was to fast or not fast. Like we said, someone today traveling by car and then by plane, not doing much, not moving much. Someone might say, look, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing for me. So this person, yes, his fasting is not difficult upon him. It's the same point, whether he fasts or whether he doesn't fast. For this person, ففي هذه الحال يجوز له أن يصوم ويجوز له أن يفطر. It is permissible for him to fast, and it's permissible for him to break his fast. And the reward of his fast or breaking his fast is depending on his taqwa, how much shukr he has, and how much sabr he has. طيب, النوع الرابع, I mean, if it's easy for him to break his fast, it's easy for him to fast, then he is none of them. We wouldn't say he should fast or he shouldn't fast. It's up to him. If he wants to fast, he can fast, and if he doesn't want to fast, he shouldn't fast. طيب, النوع الرابع الحائض والنفساء. The fourth type of those who it's okay, is permissible for them to break their fast, or it's obligatory for them to break their fast. It's al-ha'id, the woman who is in her periods. والنفساء, the woman who has just given birth. إذا حاضت المرأة ونفست أفطرت فإن صامت لم يجزئها. The woman who is under her periods or has given birth, uh, if she fasts, it is not لم يجزئها. It is not accepted. She needs to fast in another day. And this is upon consensus from the scholars. ولا يحل لها الصوم. It is not permissible for her to fast. طيب, I'll answer the questions in the end, inshallah. نعم. ولا يحل لها الصوم. It is not permissible for her to fast. وأنها يفطران رمضان ويقضيان. Upon them is to break the fast and they would make their fast up after Ramadan. This is for the woman who is حائض on her periods والنفساء. طيب. النوع الخامس الحامل والمرضع. The one who is pregnant and the one who is breastfeeding. The woman who is pregnant and the woman who is breastfeeding, the Prophet ﷺ said, إن الله وضع عن المسافر شطر الصلاة وعن المسافر والحامل والمرضع الصوم أو الصيام. Allah Azza wa Jal has uplifted upon the musafir, the traveler, half of the salah, and upon the ill, the woman who is breastfeeding, and the woman who is pregnant, the fast. قال البخاري رحمه الله تعالى قال حسن إبراهيم في الموضع والحمل إذا خافت على أنفسهما أو ولدهما تفطران ثم تقضيان. The woman who is faithful, she's breastfeeding or she is pregnant, and she's faithful for herself or the baby, her child, then she can break a fast and then she makes up that fast in outside of Ramadan. طيب, the one who is pregnant والمرضع and the one who is breastfeeding, they have three situations. إذا خافتا على أنفسهما فقط. One situation is that they are only faithful upon themselves. They are not faithful for their baby in that situation. They don't think it will harm them. If they're faithful upon themselves, then she is like the one who is ill. So the one who is ill and is fasting in Ramadan and doesn't fast in Ramadan because of his illness, what does he do? He breaks his fast and he makes up for that day outside of Ramadan. So she takes the ruling of the one who is ill. So she breaks her fast and she just makes up for that fast and that's it. The second situation is that she is scared upon herself and the child. طيب means okay. It means okay or it means good. الحالة الثانية إذا خافت على, if they are faithful upon their child الضرر فتفطران, they can break their fast. أستاذ ما أرى الحالة الثانية. طيب جزاكم الله خير. لا جاي, بارك الله فيك. إذا خافت على ولديهم الضرر فتفطران لإنقاذ معصوم وتقضيان الأيام التي يفترضهما على الصحيح دون الإطعام. If they are faithful upon their child harm, then they just break their fast and they make it up outside of Ramadan. And they don't have to feed every day a miskin. طيب, the third situation إذا خافت على أنفسهما وولديهما. If they are faithful upon themselves and their children, then in this situation, they make up for the fast, they break the fast, they make up for it only. فقط على الصحيح. They don't have to feed a miskin for every day, according to the most authentic opinion, as the Sheikh has said. النوع السادس المكره على الفطر إكراها ملجأ. The one who is forced to break his fast. إكراها ملجأ بحيث بحيث ألزمه غيره أن يتناول شيئا من مفسدات الصوم. Someone forces this person to break his fast. For this person, it is permissible for him to break his fast, and he needs to make up for this fast in other days. النوع السابع من يحتاج للفطر لدفع ضرورة غيره. The one who needs to break his fast to push away to help someone who is in a حال of necessity, in a situation of necessity. كإنقاذ معصوم من غرق. Like someone who is drowning, or someone who's drowning, or someone who is burning, then it is permissible for this person to break his fast in order to save this person if he needs to do so. The eighth type من غلبه الجوع والعطش الشديد الذي لا يخاف معه الهلاك على نفسه. من غلبه الجوع أو العطش الشديد الذي يخاف معه الهلاك على نفسه أو نقصان العقل أو ذهاب البصر أو السمع أو بعض الحواس الأخرى. The eighth type is the one who is severely hungry and severely thirsty to the extent that he fears upon himself the destruction of himself or his eyes or something to do with himself. He's so hungry that he is very fearful upon himself that it will harm him. In this case, it is permissible for him to break his fast. طيب, the ninth is the one من يحتاج إلى الفطر للتقوي به على الجهاد في سبيل الله. It is permissible for the one who needs the energy in order to fight for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla in jihad. It is permissible for him to break his fast, to get that energy, to break his fast, and then to make up, inshallah ta'ala, outside of Ramadan. طيب, with this we finished the people who it's permissible for them to break their fast in Ramadan, and we'll open the floor for questions and answers, inshallah ta'ala. Any questions? طيب, I think there was a question before. Humaira, I hope you understood, yeah? For someone who is sick, or it's permissible for them to break their fast if this person, his sickness is, because of his sickness, it will be difficult for them to fast. It will be very difficult. Not just minor sickness won't really affect that person, like a little cough or something. If the person was supposed to fast but he declined, will he need to fast for 60 days? So someone was supposed to fast but he didn't fast. Okay, so he disobeyed Allah Azza wa Jalla. For example, and he was feeling weak and the shaitan overcame him, and he broke his fast. Upon this person isn't to fast 60 days. 60 days is for something else. This person needs to make sincere tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jalla, repent to Allah, seek forgiveness from Allah, because he didn't commit a minor sin, and then he needs to make up for that fast, that day that he missed, or the days that he missed after Ramadan. Okay, Aslam?
What if you don't fast for the whole 30 days?
If he didn't fast for the whole of 30 days, if this person has reached the age of puberty and fasting is obligatory upon them, and they've not fasted the 30 days, this person needs to make up again, make tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal, repent to Allah Azza wa Jal, ask forgiveness from Allah, and then make up for the days that he has missed outside of Ramadan. So outside of Ramadan, he doesn't have to do all 30 in one go, but he could do a few days here, a few days there, but he needs to catch up before the next Ramadan comes. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, mashallah. Mashallah. If you're on the plane and the person serves you food, should you take the food? If you're on the plane, then you must be a traveler. Like we said, if you want to fast that day, you don't have to accept the food. However, if you want to break your fast and you find it easier, then for all means break your fast and make up for that fast, inshallah. But it's permissible for you to break your fast on the plane or wherever you are traveling, inshallah.
If you fasted for the whole Ramadan except of one day, and you started gobbling it all up, what would happen?
So you fasted the whole of Ramadan, but you didn't fast just one day.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your reward, inshallah, for the 2 days you fasted. If you had an excuse to not fast on that day, then it's fine, inshallah. We hope that Allah gives you the full reward. However, if there was an excuse, okay, and it was out of laziness or tiredness, etc., then your reward for the rest of Ramadan will still be there, inshallah. But it's good to just if you've reached the age of puberty, you have to make up that day. If you've not reached the age of puberty, it's still good to try and make that day up later on during the year. Especially when it's winter time and it's easy to fast, you can break your fast at 3:40, 3:30, then you should do that, inshallah. But your whole Ramadan isn't invalid. You will still get your reward for what you've done. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. طيب, we will conclude with this, inshallah ta'ala. جزاكم الله خيرا for attending. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Wait, I have one more question.
Okay, a quick one, inshallah.
What if you don't fast at all, not for even 3 years?
Okay, is that person has this person reached the age of puberty?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if this person not reached the age of puberty, then there's no sin upon that person. Okay, there's no sin upon the person. It's very good, even if you reached the age of puberty, you should still try your best to fast, inshallah ta'ala. However, there's no sin if the person's not reached the age of puberty. There's no sin, but this person would have missed out a lot of good. There's a lot of good in fasting. Okay, even if you're young, you've not reached the age of puberty, it's still a lot of good in fasting. So it's missing out on a lot of good, but there's no sin, inshallah ta'ala. وجزاك خير الجزاء.
I'll try fast all of the 30 days this year.
Inshallah, inshallah. Don't forget, ask Allah for help. Okay? Ask Allah, say, Ya Rab, I'm weak, Ya Rab, I'm weak, but with your help, I'll be able to do it. So help me. And watch, inshallah, you'll get a lot of strength. You don't know where it's come from. It'll come from Allah. It will come from Allah. Inshallah, inshallah. Okay, barakallahu feekum. And I'll see everyone tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala.